Hey everybody, Frank Menard here, and welcome to today's video. Today is Saturday. I don't typically record on Saturday. However, earlier while having a cup of coffee, I was checking out the news. It was pretty disturbing, as news typically is. And it caused me to get out of my chair and walk into my office, open my computer, and record a message in regard to the power of a positive mental attitude. Why the way you think determines the way you live. There's a simple truth that governs every human life. It determines whether a man rises or drifts, whether he builds or blames, whether he grows stronger with age or quietly gives up. And that truth is this: your life follows your dominant thoughts, not your wishes, not your intentions, not what you hope will happen someday. Your life follows what you consistently think, emotionally believe, and habitually dwell upon. This is the essence of what great thinkers have called positive mental attitude. And make no mistake, this is not motivational fluff. This is not feel-good thinking. This is not denial of reality. Positive mental attitude is a discipline, a philosophy of living, and ultimately a law of success. Tonight or this morning or wherever you are, I want to walk with you through why maintaining a positive mental attitude is one of the most important decisions a man can make, especially in a world that profits from fear, distraction, and discouragement. What is a positive mental attitude anyway? Positive mental attitude, or PMA, does not mean pretending everything is fine. It does not mean ignoring hardship. It does not mean suppressing emotion. A positive mental attitude means this: you choose your response, regardless of the circumstance. It means you train your mind to look for opportunity instead of obstacle, to seek lesson instead of loss, to maintain faith instead of fear, to practice gratitude instead of grievance. A man with a positive mental attitude does not deny difficulty. He refuses to be dominated by it. As Napoleon Hill taught repeatedly, the only thing over which you have complete control is your own mind. And that control, when exercised daily, becomes the foundation of all achievement. Why mental attitude comes before everything else. Before goals, before plans, before strategy, before talent, there is attitude. Because your mental attitude determines what you notice, what you believe is possible, what actions you are willing to take, and how long you will persist when the results are slow. Two men can face the same circumstance. One grows bitter, the other grows better. The difference is not intelligence, it is not background, it is not luck. It is mental attitude. A positive mental attitude is the difference between discipline and procrastination, courage and retreat, leadership and complaint, faith and fear. And the world will constantly test it. Let's be honest. We live in a culture that profits from outrage, sells fear as entertainment, rewards negativity with attention, confuses realism with cynicism. Turn on the news, scroll through social media, or listening to a casual conversation. You will hear what's wrong, who's to blame, why it won't work, and why things are getting worse. If you're not intentional, you will absorb this thinking by default. And here's the danger. What you allow into your mind repeatedly becomes your mental climate. What you allow into your mind repeatedly becomes your mental climate. A man cannot think negatively and live positively at the same time. You must guard the gates of your mind. Positive mental attitude is not something you either have or don't have. It is something you practice, just like physical fitness, skill development, leadership, character. No one wakes up permanently positive. Men wake up uncommitted, and they drift from there. Maintaining a positive mental attitude requires awareness, discipline, repetition, and renewal. It means catching yourself when your thinking slips, when it slips into self-pity, blame, fear, excuse making, and gently but firmly redirecting your mind. Not once, not occasionally, but daily. Positive mental attitude is inseparable from applied faith. Faith is not religious language alone. Faith is confidence in unseen outcomes. Faith is the expectation that effort, aligned with purpose, will produce results. Fear says, what if this doesn't work? Faith says, what if it does? A positive mental attitude trains the mind to expect good without entitlement and to act accordingly. Hill taught that faith is a state of mind, capable of being cultivated through autosuggestion and repetition, which means you can strengthen it. You can also weaken it. You can direct it. And every time you choose optimism over despair, you strengthen faith. Every time you persist instead of quitting, you strengthen faith. Every time you speak life instead of limitation, you strengthen faith. A man with a positive mental attitude does not give his power away. He does not say, they made me feel this way. The economy ruined my chances. My past defines my future. He says, I choose how to respond. I am responsible for my results. I can change my direction. Positive mental attitude restores personal responsibility, and personal responsibility restores self-respect. When a man regains control of his thinking, he regains control of his life. Let's be clear. A negative mental attitude does not just affect mood. It affects health, relationships, income, leadership, longevity. Chronic negativity creates stress, anxiety, resentment, withdrawal, hopelessness. It narrows your vision. It shortens your patience. It weakens persistence. Worst of all, it normalizes mediocrity. A man with a negative mental attitude begins to expect less, and life almost always complies. How to actively maintain a positive mental attitude? Let's be practical. Here are foundational habits of men who maintain PMA. Number one, they control input. You want to be intentional about what you read, watch, and listen to. Garbage in equals garbage thinking. Two, practice gratitude daily. Gratitude redirects the mind from scarcity to abundance. Even in difficulty, something can be appreciated. Third, speak intentionally. Your words reinforce your thoughts. Speak life. Speak progress. Speak possibility. Fourth, associate with positive minds. Mental attitudes are contagious, so choose your circle wisely. 5, rehearse who you are becoming. And this is where Hill's success creed becomes essential. The success creed is not poetry. It is mental programming. It is a declaration of identity, a rehearsal of belief, a commitment to discipline. When you read it daily and read it with emotion, it shapes your self-image, confidence, persistence, faith. purpose. This is why I'm concluding today with its reading, because positive mental attitude must be reinforced. As you listen to the Success Creed, I encourage you not to simply hear the words. Adopt them, claim them, live them, and read them daily. Read them aloud. Read them with conviction. Now let us conclude with the words that have shaped millions of lives. My Daily Success Creed by Napoleon Hill. I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite major purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action toward its attainment, and I here and now promise to render such action. I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. Third, I know that through the principle of autosuggestion, any desire I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of attaining the object back of it. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily in demanding of myself the development of unconditional self-reliance. Fourth, I have clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life, and I will never stop trying until I shall have developed sufficient self-reliance for its attainment in full. Fifth, I fully realize that no wealth or position of benefit can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction, in no human relationship, which does not benefit all whom it affects. I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, greed, and cynicism by developing love for all humanity, because I know that a negative mental attitude toward others can never bring me success. I will cause others to believe in me, because I will believe in them and in myself. I will sign my name to this formula, commit it to memory, and repeat it aloud at least once daily, with full faith that it will gradually influence my thoughts and actions so that I will become self-reliant and successful. My recommendation is that this creed should be read morning, noon, and night, 3 times a day. And when you sign it, it actually creates a contract with yourself for individual success. So I will leave a link below in the remarks to get a copy of this success creed. And I encourage you to feed this creed intentionally into your mind each and every day so that you can build and maintain a positive mental attitude. And I think if we all did that, we might just change the world that we live in. Thank you so much for joining me today on a Saturday. I hope you enjoyed this recording. More importantly, I hope you implement the lesson. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon. Bye.